latest addition to the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is the quadrillionth superhero movie that they have under their banner. It's the third MCU movie that has come out in 2021. This film was directed by Chloe Zhao, an Oscar-winning director, and Chloe Zhao, as the Marvel marketing campaign made sure that you realize. You've got Richard Madden, you've got Kit Harington, aka Robb Stark and Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, Don Lee, Brian Tyree Henry, Barry Keoghan, Angelina Jolie, Gemma Chan, Kumail Nanjiani, I think I'm saying his name the right way, Salma Hayek also is in this movie. Just a really talented cast with a lot of really attractive people. The Eternals are a group of long-lived and immortal superpowered beings who have been living on Earth for thousands and thousands of years. And then one day, an event happens that causes them to have to come back together and find each other and reunite against the rising tide of evil known as the Deviants, which are a mysterious alien monster race that they fought thousands of years ago, and now they have to fight them again. Best way I can sum up the story without actually summing up the real story, but also presenting something that you can understand for the review. So, Eternals, there is quite a lot to talk about with Eternals. Not a lot that I'm going to be able to talk about because, you know, I don't do spoilers. There's just a lot to say and not a lot of time to say it. You guys know that I don't like doing extra long videos. I like people to get in, get the information, feel the vibe, maybe laugh a couple of times, and then get out and go on with their day. So the best way that I can sum up Eternals in the time that I have, and this is gonna sound kind of like a backhanded compliment, it's a very big and ambitious movie that swings for the fences, and sometimes it gets some strikes and sometimes it lands on base. Like I said, backhanded compliment, but just let me explain and lay it out for you. First of all, when it comes to this movie, the things that I like the most about it is the direction. Chloe Zhao, you can definitely see her sensibilities and her strengths as a director shining through in this movie. Some beautiful, gorgeous looking cinematography that takes advantage of some real life environments, some natural lighting. Visually speaking, in terms of how she shot it, some of the camera work, the cinematography, no complaints on any of that. A lot of that is some of the best that the MCU has ever had. I do think that the performances across the board are actually pretty solid, pretty good. Some are given less to work with than others, but somehow they all make it work. Angelina Jolie in this movie, half the time, it feels like she's trying to stun on everybody because she's like, I'm gonna show you what a real Oscar winner is. And then half the time, she's kind of bored and it feels like this is just like another Saturday for her. Sometimes I'm punching in and sometimes it's like, damn, 5 minutes to clock out. Where's the time? Where's the buzzer? I would probably say my standout characters among this cast of characters is Brian Tyree Henry's character, who plays an Eternal named Phastos. I think that's how you say his name. Phastos, however you say it. Also, Barry Keoghan, who plays another Eternal named Druid. Gemma Chan I thought was excellent as Cersei. Salma Hayek, okay, here's the thing with Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek is not actually in the movie that much, but morally and legally, I don't think I'm allowed to say what I want to say about her, so this is gonna have to suffice. Thought about leaving it out of the video, but I'm depraved and I have no shame. There is a lot of ambition in this movie, and the structure of the movie is not like your typical MCU movie. Oh, don't get me wrong, it still has its typical MCU isms that you can find throughout the movie, you know, those idiosyncrasies that only you see in Marvel movies, or at least you primarily see in Marvel movies nowadays. In regards to what Chloe was going for in terms of the storytelling, in terms of the characters, I actually felt like there was a unique and fresh approach that was given to this, at least through some of the stronger parts of the movie. The moments of the movie that focus on reflection and that focus on these godlike beings and the responsibilities that they may or may not have to the human race, those are the more fascinating parts of the film for me. This movie's not necessarily focused on a bunch of big action sequences and quippy lines of dialogue, although yes, it does have its quips, it does have its humor. Also, I like this movie's expansion of the cosmic part of the universe in terms of the MCU lore. It does make the entire multiverse or the entire universe feel huge, feel larger than life. Here's the thing though, this is one of those films that it's really, really ambitious, but it doesn't necessarily stick the landing. It's all ambition and only some of the execution. I get it that every film has exposition to a certain degree, but this film I thought took it a little bit too far, and it was very heavy-handed in its exposition where characters are just kind of spelling out the themes and the main plot points of the story. I would actually say this movie has an editing problem. There is a lack of cohesion in terms of the scenes and how they fit together and how it all flows together as one narrative. Scenes that feel like they're either out of place or out of order compared to into other scenes. Like, there's not a natural transition and fit between certain scenes as they're shot in this film. You go all over the place in this movie. You go back and forth between different planets and between past and present, as there are a ton of flashbacks. They do all that while also going to recruit and pick up certain characters along the way while they wait for the plot to kick in. So it just made me feel a little bit disconnected from a lot of the characters in the movie. The bigger issue with this film is the really sloppy storytelling that starts to pop up the longer the movie goes on, through the second and through the third act. There's a lot of information that the movie forgets that it told us a few minutes ago, and then something happens that contradicts what they just told us, or there's information that the movie has where they forget that they haven't told us this information yet. So certain things pop up and you're just supposed to accept it because, I don't know, comic book movie. Sloppily plotted and written. There are certain details where I just feel like, okay, well, this could have been fleshed out a little bit more. You could have actually emphasized this more. There is one subplot in particular involving an antagonist of the movie that definitely feels like a gigantic waste of time, I'm not gonna lie. Overall, I don't think this movie is nearly as bad as what some people have said or what the Rotten Tomato meter says or whatever. It feels like there is a brilliant movie that is hidden somewhere within this formulaic MCU thing. Like, at a certain point, they stopped focusing on the brilliant parts of the movie and they started focusing more on, oh, it's a Marvel movie, so we have to do this and we have to do this, we have to check this box and yada, yada, yada. Some of the brilliance that Chloe was going for does kind of get lost in the shuffle. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I had a fun time with it. I'm going to leave the Eternals in the Daily Planet. Tell me what your favorite MCU movie of the year so far is, and put that in the comment section down below. Give me your ranking. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.